Okay, let's get straight into it. Hi, I'm Destiny, and for my community exploration project, I looked at how a platform like Therapy for Black Girls supports the mental health of Black women. I combined my academic research with interviews from 3 Black women who have used this community to bring you these slides today. So let's get straight into it. What is Therapy for Black Girls? Therapy for Black Girls is more than just an idea or a website. It's an online community with a popular podcast, social media content, and a directory of therapists who understand the unique experiences of Black women. Their main goal is to make mental health care feel normal and accessible. So, why are we here, and what's the biggest thing we're here to talk about? Today, as the big number one on my list, I think we're going to get into the Superwoman schema. So, to understand why platforms like Therapy for Black Girls matter, we need to first talk about the Superwoman schema. This is a concept from researcher Woods Giscombe. It describes the cultural pressure for many Black women that they always need to be strong or never show anyone that they're struggling and to take care of everyone first. And I know it might sound familiar to you if you're reading this as a Black woman. Or anyone with, honestly, it's a really trending thing. But back on topic. If it sounds familiar, it often leads to burnout and stops women from seeking help. And that's what we don't want, those barriers. So let's talk about them. Barriers to mental health care for Black women. Research by Williams and Chen show that Black women face several barriers. There's a deep mistrust of medical systems because of past racism, and there are very few therapists who understand Black women's cultural context. Therapy is also expensive, and even when care is available, typically the Superwoman schema makes them feel ashamed to ask for help. So that's why culturally specific platforms help so much. And Williams and colleagues found that when mental health resources are designed specifically for a group with language, images, and providers that reflect them, engagement and results get much better. Platforms like Therapy for Black Girls create a safer, more affirming entry point than traditional clinical settings. So I found evidence to support this through my study. So in my study, I had 3 participants. So for my research, I interviewed 3 Black women who have used Therapy for Black Girls. My first is Taylor. She's a veterinary student in Michigan. My second, Kayla, an undergraduate at Oakland University. And participant 3 is a 23-year-old hairstylist in Detroit, Michigan. I interviewed them all by text messages on March 2026, so they could answer at their own pace and answer the questions most openly. So my first finding was the Superwoman schema in daily life. My first participant felt that the Superwoman schema in her daily life really came about in grad school when they expected her to just seem unbothered by the weight of everything of veterinary school. And Kayla said she was always had to be the strong friend. But participant 3 put it most clearly in my eyes. She said she poured so much emotional energy into her clients, she almost has nothing left for herself. Which leads me to talk about my second finding, validation from Therapy for Black Girls. All 3 women said Therapy for Black Girls gave them validation. They didn't have to explain why race or culture mattered. Taylor found a therapist through the directory and finally felt understood. Kayla said the Instagram post helped her feel less alone. And participant 3 likes that the platform makes therapy feel something to enjoy and not a clinical chore. So, number 3, the ripple effect, aka my hairstylist. This was the most unexpected finding. Participant 3, the hairstylist, doesn't just use Therapy for Black Girls for herself. She also uses what she learns to support her clients, which is so amazing. She uses her chair as a safe space for healing and community by taking care of her own mental health. She gives permission to the women around her to do the same. The published research doesn't talk about this ripple effect through hairstylists, but it's extremely powerful, as hairstylists in the Black community are somewhere where many of us find ourselves confiding in and spending our own free personal time where we get to sit down and finally think with them. So to be in such a supportive space in a time where you're recharging and feeling better about yourself is amazing. So, leading to my 4th finding, preferences for in-person therapy. Digital isn't everything. Participant 3 told me she actually prefers in-person therapy. Her exact words were, a person's words can say one thing, but their emotions and actions can provide another. She needs to see body language to feel safe, which I totally understand. That doesn't mean digital platforms are bad, but for some women, online is just a first step. In-person connection still matters. It's kind of like how everyone has their own love language. You find what therapy works best for you. So, what my findings add to the literature? My small study of research. First, the Superwoman schema isn't the same for everyone. Participant 3's job as a hairstylist, an informal caregiver, aka, made the pressure heavier. And second, platforms like Therapy for Black Girls can have a ripple effect, helping not just the user but their whole community. And third, the ideal solution might be hybrid. Online tools for validation and access to in-person therapy for deeper work seems like a great new way to get people into therapy. Limitations from this project, I have a very small group. I only have 3 people, and that's a small sample. And text interviews meant I couldn't see their facial expressions or hear their tones to go further, but I'd love to interview 5 to 7 more Black women in beauty professions, hairstylists, barbers, nail techs, any of them. I'd ask if clients would be open to tell them about their mental health, or if they would be to their clients to recommend using therapy for themselves, and if they prefer in-person over digital care. That would tell us if the ripple effect is common or unique to in-person. So the bottom line, Therapy for Black Girls helps Black women by making vulnerability feel ordinary and acceptable, not like a failure. It also spreads mental awareness through trusted community members like hairstylists, but for some women, digital platforms are only a first step. A hybrid model might work best. And that's all for my project. Thank you for watching. I've listed my main sources here as well, Chen, Williams, and Woods. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I would love to reply.